So hello everyone, I'm Ashish and today I'm going to discuss about the physiological basis of classification of phylums under the kingdom Animalia. So guys, what happened? We have discussed yesterday about the morphological basis in which we have discussed the body plans, body symmetry and many more things like levels of organization, germ layers. On the basis of coelom, we have divided the different phylums and characteristics of all the phylums we have studied. But today we are going to discuss about something new, that is the physiological basis of the classification of phylums under animal. So we have discussed 8 parts and today the ninth. Ninth is the nutrition, which is the most basic, you can say, most basic thing, basic system which is found in the animals. So on the base of nutrition, that is digestion, or basically the alimentary canal, we have divided the animals into two groups. The first is the animals which have incomplete and the complete alimentary canal, or you can say the nutrition level. So guys, what happened? Incomplete, what we have learned in blind sac and tube within tube plan, that there is one opening, only one opening in what? In the blind sac. But in the tube within tube, you will find that there were two openings. One is the mouth and second is the anus. And on the basis of this, we have two different categories of animals. One with complete digestive system and another is the incomplete digestive system. So guys, under incomplete digestive system, you will find the only one opening. And this is found in the organism from sponges to platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes. So guys, all the organisms beyond this, like Ctenophora, coelentrates, and all from sponges to platyhelminthes, they have what? They have the only one opening from which the food materials go on and the waste material comes out. But the complete type of digestive system has two openings. From one opening, the food item will get in, and from the another opening, the fecal matter, or you can say the waste material, comes out. So this is seen from the animals of nematodes or Schelminthes, you can say, nematodes to chordata. All these organisms have what? They have the complete digestive system. Then the number 10 is, on the basis of respiration, we can classify organisms into different phylums. So what are the respiration, or you can say the respiratory system or the respiratory unit in the organism? First, the simplest form you can think of is diffusion from surface. From body surface, the diffusion will be there. So guys, from body surface, the simple diffusion of air, like air comes in, and the air which is unwanted, or you can say the carbon dioxide, comes out from the same body surface. It can happen in the organism which are unicellular, that is protozoa, sponges, coelentrates and ctenophores. All these organisms have the diffusion type of respiration, which is most simplest. But the second thing is skin. From moist skin, what happens? The oxygen comes in and the carbon dioxide goes out. So this is seen in the organism of some organisms of platyhelminthes, and annelids also. Some annelids also, like earthworm, you have seen that the body surface is moist and the oxygen comes in from that and the CO2 comes out. Another higher level of organization that is seen is the trachea. Trachea is, what is trachea? Trachea is, suppose this is the body of the organism, then what happens? You can see the orifice all over the body. This orifice is nothing but the tubules from which the gaseous exchange takes place. So trachea is the another higher level of organ that is used in respiration, and it is used by, you all have studied the anatomy of what? Cockroaches. You have seen that cockroaches have what? The trachea, which goes in the like kind of a body cavity where the fluids are there, and then the like kind of you can say exchange occurs. So trachea is seen in most of the arthropods. The next is the gills. Then the lungs, Pisces and amphibians. Pisces and amphibians have the gills with blood vessels, and only gills can also be found with the operculum, as you have seen in the like Pisces, and lungs with blood vessels are found from reptiles to what? Upper organism, that is mammals. All these organisms have the lungs, well developed lungs with their blood vessels. So please remember these things, these are very important. They actually ask trachea are found in which organism, and they will give you the like option in insect. So please mark insect if insects are there, and if arthropods are there, please mark arthropods. So next criteria for the classification of organism is the excretion. So first, if you are going to think about, will be the organism which has the kind of a water vascular system from which the excretion takes place. So guys, it comes that the which has the water vascular system, they have not developed any kind of excretory system. From that point of view, all those organisms where there is no defined excretory system comes like the organism with no excretory organ or system. So no excretory organ are found in the organism, like you can say unicellular organism, protozoa, and two, the organisms of up till Ctenophora and also echinoderms. All you know that the echinoderms have what developed a water vascular system, water canal system actually. So they do not have any excretory organ. They only do the job of excretion by expelling out the waste material from the water canal system. So the next higher thing is the protonephridia. Protonephridia is the basic, or you can say the most prior form of the nephridia. It is the nephridia or nephron, you can say, of our nephron. So it is the most premier kind of nephridia which is found, and it is found in the what? In the platyhelminthes opening, which has the bulb-like structure. It is called the flame cells. I am talking about the tapeworm. It is found in the platyhelminthes. It has a tapeworm. It has actually two things. One is the flame cell and another is the open end, from where they actually expel out the thing, and it is inside the body, from where all the items that has to be excreted comes in this kind of flame cells, and flame cells has the property to expel out the excretion, all the excretory parts. Then the metanephridia, it is the another higher level of nephron, which is actually found in the what? In the annelids. Or you have learned about the anatomy of like earthworm. You can find that the earthworm has the metanephridia. Then the next higher thing is the Malpighian tubule. So guys, Malpighian tubules is very different from all these excretory system or excretory organs. It is actually found in the cockroaches, or you can say the insects or arthropods. So in insects or arthropods has this kind of metanephridia. Metanephridia, if you are going to study it, suppose this is the digestive system, and here what? The tube-like structure here comes in. So at the junction of mid gut and the hind gut, you will find that some of the projections are there. These are called the metanephridia. These will be in the pair. So these are metanephridia actually, and this has the property that from the digestive food particles, they will just absorb the water and maintain the kind of osmolarity, and all the waste part that is just go out of the body from the digestive system only. So Malpighian tubules are another higher level of you can see the organs for the excretion. The another higher level of organ is the antennal gland. It is also called the green gland. So green glands are actually found in the crustaceans. They are also the part of the arthropoda, but they are not the hexapoda. They are what? They are the crustaceans, or you can say the aquatic arthropods, they have the antennal gland or the green glands. So these have the crustaceans have these kind of structure, that is the antennal gland or green gland. So another higher level of the excretory organ is the coxal gland. Coxal gland are also just similar to the antennal gland, but they are found in the arachnida. Just don't go in deep like kind of anatomy of all these things or structure of all these things, but just remember these two are very important, green glands and coxal gland. Many times asked. This is very easy to remember because you have learned in 12th class that the Malpighian tubules are found in the arthropoda. You can resemble it with the cockroach and you can mark the insect. But this coxal gland is very important to remember. Then another higher organism has the like kind of flame cells that is found in the hemichordata, and then the kidney. So kidney is found in almost all vertebrates. Almost all vertebrates has the kidney. So kidney is the kind of thing which is most advanced, and so we are the most advanced animals. So another criteria for classifying organisms on the basis of is the excretory matter. So excretory matter can be what? Ammonia. Then it can be ureotelic, and then the uricotelic. So these organisms are also very important if you are going to study these things. So this is the criteria number 13, excretory matter. So guys, ammonia you all know is what? NH3. CONH2 is the like urea, and so does the uricotelic. It is also the precursor of ammonia, but it has the kind of advanced structure. But they all are derived from the urea in the liver. So they are very toxic. They are highly toxic. So there is a need to expel it out from the body, because the accumulation can cause the like kind of, if uric acid is accumulated, it causes the gout. Gout like condition which is accumulated at the joints, and the joint pain is the main like kind of symptom which is seen in the accumulation. These toxic materials are very important, so these are to be expelled out from the body. For ammonia is actually very highly soluble in water. So there is a need of water. There is need of high amount of water to expel it out from the body. So this is quite risky. Why? Because water retention should be our cause, which will be the following the excretion. So ammonia is found to be excreted in the aquatic organism, because aquatic organisms are having abundant water in and around, so they can expel it out very easily. So aquatic animals, if you see in the option in examination, please tick that they have the ammonia as the excretory matter. So ureotelic is found in most organisms, but what happens again, ureotelic is the energy consuming part, because urea when converted from the ammonia takes high amount of ATP. So it is also like costlier kind of thing if we talk in respect of the what energy conduit. So these ureotelic organisms are very common, and they are actually mammals are the best example of what? The ureotelic organisms. Again, another ureotelic organisms are like the amphibians, but adult amphibians. Suppose if frog are there, adult frog are there. But the tadpole had what? The aquatic nature, and they will have the ammonia as the excretory matter. For uricotelic, all the organisms have, most of the organisms have what? The uric acid, or you can say the uric acid as the what? Excretory matter. Uric acid is found to be excreted in birds, reptiles, and insects. They all excrete what? The uric acid. So guys, the 14th number criteria will be the circulation. When we talk of circulation, circulation can be of three types. First, there will be not a specialized organ. Second will be, suppose no blood vessels, and the third will be vessels, blood vessels. So if the circulation occurs in the vessel, it will be called as the closed, because what? The blood is closed in the vessel. But when it is like having no blood vessel to carry out the blood, so it will be the open. Open means open in the body. So what happens in this condition where there is open blood vessel, open like kind of circulation, it will have the sinuses or the cavity, so that all the like kind of tissues are bathed. So not specialized kind of circulation is found from the animals, sponges to platyhelminthes actually. And the no blood vessels are found in the like arthropod. As you all know, in the cockroach case there is a homocoel, and in the homocoel all the like kind of hemolymph just pass out. So arthropods have the open circulation. Closed circulation is found in all the organisms, arthropods and some of the mollusks. The closed circulation is found in like kind of all the organisms except it, like from annelid to chordates, except for what? Again, echinoderms. They have what? The water canal system. So these questions are asked many times. Please remember it. So the next thing, the 15th criteria of our classification is reproduction. So guys, A number is sexuality. Sexuality is the main kind of criteria to classify the phylums. If we talk of sexuality, the animal can be hermaphrodite, and the unisexual organism. Or you can say that the bisexual or unisexual. Bisexual are also called as monoecious. Monoecious means mono means single or ecious means body. Single body में both the system, male reproductive system and female reproductive systems are found. So it is called the monoecious. And dioecious means two body. So two different bodies are found for the reproduction, that is the dioecious. The best example for hermaphrodite animal is the earthworm. And for the unisexual organism, you have many kind of things, that is ascaris, lumbricoids, cockroaches, many organisms. Like kind of all the higher organisms have what? The like dioecious kind of thing, that is unisexual. So guys, what happened if there is a bisexual organism, male and female reproductive systems are there in the same body, then what happens? Suppose this is a body, this is ova, and this is sperm. They both are generated. So what they do? They will fertilize their own and they will give rise to the body. So in this case, what happens? In this case, there is a need to maintain the distancing between what? The ova and the sperm. So this is done by the two processes, that is polyandry and polygyny. So guys, these two are very important. Please remember the example. Polyandry is seen in the earthworm. Earthworm is the annelid. So annelid, polyandry means the andry develops first. Andry means male organ develops the first. and the female organ, if develops the first, that will be the polygyny. Polygyny is found in the Amphioxus. Amphioxus is a amphibian. So guys, these two are very important example of these things. So guys, let's discuss about some of the different things like kind of fertilization, if internal fertilization is there or external fertilization is there. So this is also the criteria to classify the organism. This thing I am like teaching why, because these are many times asked in examination, and this is very important to know which property all the like phylums have, all the organisms have. So this is the direct question in this CSIR exam, and NEET Metro you will get the abundant questions from these topics. So please remember. The next important thing is fertilization. Fertilization can be internal or external. Internal when the fertilization occurs in the body, and external when the fertilization occurs outside the body. This is the most common in the aquatic organism again. And almost all organisms have the internal fertilization. So guys, what happens? This fertilization actually occurs in the case of sexual reproduction. But what happens in case of the like kind of asexual reproduction? Asexual reproduction is also found in the organism. So asexual reproduction, this is the part of this thing, and these all are the reproduction part. So asexual reproduction can be of different types. Suppose in sponges you will see gammules. In hydra or coelenterate you will find the budding. Again you will find in some organisms the fragmentation, that is organism of the planaria, that is a platyhelminthes or flatworm, you will find the fragmentation. Fragmentation. Sorry. And in some organisms you will find that like kind of echinoderms, you will find regeneration. Regeneration will develop the organism from a single body part which actually broken down. Third important thing here is the development. So development means how the fetus is going to develop in the body of the organism. Development can be direct or indirect. Direct or indirect. If we are going to talk about the direct, then the direct is in which what happens, the fetus resembles the adult organism, but this is not in the case of indirect. Indirect has a larval stage which is not resembling the adult organism. So indirect development is also known as metamorphosis, where what happens, the organism undergoes different types of like developmental stages. So metamorphosis is another term for indirect development. So direct development is seen in the organism like which has the actually the viviparous nature. Then now we are going to discuss about these things, who are viviparous and what. Most of the organisms which are like kind of lower organisms have the indirect development. Indirect development, they will have the stages of larval life forms. The next criteria is the offspring. If offspring is delivered as the egg, then it will be oviparous, or you can say the egg-laying organisms. Egg-laying organisms, and they are actually what? Insects, amphibians, reptiles, birds, all these are the egg-laying organisms. But they are viviparous, which have the parental care kind of thing of the fetus, all of the like kind of you can say baby. The immature baby is delivered out, then they start the development. So viviparous or the baby laying organism. This is actually seen in the mammals. And the next is the ovoviviparous. Ovoviviparous. What they do, suppose if the organism is there and it is delivered outside the body, then it will have the yolk. It is attached with the yolk. So indirectly they are feeding from the yolk, but they are delivering the baby. So the baby with yolk is delivered in case of the ovoviviparous, and the most important example is shark. It is asked many times in the examination. So please remember these things. So guys, I think this is the end of the information all I have given. But the next thing, which two things are left here, is the first, the protostomes and deuterostomes. So guys, protostomes are those organisms in which the stome means mouth. So mouth develops first. As it is seen in the lower organism. In lower organism like insects and all, the mouth develops first. But we have anus development first. Deutero means back. Stomes means mouth back means बाद में mouth development. Then it is the case of R, that is mammals. Most mammals have what? The deuterostomic nature of the development of like kind of digestive system. So this is, I think, all the information I have given about these things. One, two things please remember that I have not shown you, like flame cells are found in hemichordates. This is very important. Please remember these things. So guys, thank you so much.